Hello and welcome to another episode of What Travis Says. My name is Travis and let's talk about Doctor Who. More specifically, Season 11, Episode 9, It Takes You Away. Now, if you've not yet watched It Takes You Away, do not watch this video any farther because there will be spoilers. So Team TARDIS finds themselves in present-day Norway and they discover a cottage which looks as if it's been barricaded for some reason. Inside the cottage, they find a young girl named Hanna whose father has been taken. As soon as I saw she was blind, I immediately got a The Village vibe, and hey, the monster noises were fabricated. But also fabricated was the next-door conscious sentient universe lurking on the other side of a portal mirror in the upstairs bedroom. There's a lot going on in this episode. Visually and creatively, this episode is pretty crazy, in mostly a good way. Immediately we have Ryan acting kinda stubborn about Hannah's dad, based on his own personal experience with father figures. He says maybe her dad just up and left her there, kinda like what his father did when he was a baby. And that's a trend that most companions share. They carry their own personal life experiences to these other worlds, to these other areas of the world, and they make their decisions based on their own personal experiences of their past. And Yaz tells him you have to reinforce whatever makes them feel safe, and so he does that. When Ryan and Hanna are left behind to wait for the others to get back from the other world mirror universe thing, he tries. Ryan really tries. Yaz, Graham, and the Doctor travel into the Upside Down, I mean the Anti-Zone, and in the Anti-Zone they meet Ribbons, and Ribbons is not a good person at all. Ribbons is like a goblin troll. You have to pay to get information or to be ferried across the area. He's not good. And Ribbons really has his eyes set on the sonic screwdriver for whatever reason. It's never really explained. What is he gonna do with a sonic screwdriver? It's not sustenance. He can't leave with it because he would have been able to do that without the sonic. That's never explained. And then Ribbons just dies. He gets eaten by the moths that he warned them about. So what was the point of having Ribbons in the story besides the fact that he explained the dangers of the moths, but they could have found that out with some other way? Did Ribbons actually serve any real purpose? I mean, him getting eaten showed that the moths were dangerous and how dangerous, but meh, you don't have to have such a slightly complex character with no real explanations on how he got there, why he wants the sonic, and then he just gets eaten. So when our heroes go back through the portal, they find out that they are in a different portal than the one that they entered, and they find Eric is alive with his wife Trina, with his dead wife Trina, with his non-alive mirror world wife Trina? Yeah, his non-alive wife. That's totally what I meant to say. And then Graham finds out that his non-dead mirror wife Grace is there as well. But how? Immediately Graham is like, don't do this to me, and I'm like, yeah, Graham, spending some time traveling with the Doctor, you can see that this is a trap. There's no possible way that that is Grace. Good. You are learning. You're able to see through things that are fake. You can't believe that that's Grace. Good on you, Graham. And the dead people say that they don't know why they're there and they don't know what's going on, but clearly it's this universe manipulating the thoughts of people who have lost loved ones. And that's a smart trick, because if I was in a simulated universe and I had a dead loved one come up to me and said, oh hey, where you been? Everything's cool, everything's peachy keen and fine. That would seem much more suspect than them going, I don't know what's going on either. And then we find out that this is actually a separate exiled universe, which is also a consciousness with about 16 minutes left to go in the episode. So I was like, what is this gonna be another rushed ending? The Doctor's Granny 5 told her bedtime stories about the Solitract, and that's what the Doctor believes that this is. But Granny 5 also said that Granny 2 was a secret agent for the Zygons, but hooray, another reference to a classic Doctor Who villain. And in this episode we get the Worst Father of the Year award. Seriously, Eric is just a horrible human being. Sure, he was manipulated by a conscious exiled universe that brought his dead wife back to life, but is he really about to leave his blind daughter in the actual real realm from time to time just to visit this dead wife manipulation thing that he thinks is real for some reason? And Eric uses fear to keep Hanna safe and inside. Safe and inside, but she's terrified to the point where she believes that her dad has been taken by the monster he created. And I get that he's trying to be protective. He doesn't want to lose another person who he holds dear, just like he lost his wife. And he talked about how he tried to bring Mirror Mom back into the real world, but that it didn't work for whatever reason. But why didn't he ever think to bring Hanna into the mirror world? Not that that would be good for anyone involved, but like, did that just not cross his mind? And he's being incredibly selfish when he's trying to protect Hanna from him not being there, which is his choice. He should be with his daughter. So when you think about it, Ryan, at the very beginning of the episode, was right. Eric just up and left her there. He said he was going to return, but he chose to just leave Hanna there in the house by herself. He's leaving his blind daughter alone in a boarded up house, terrified of a creature that he created to keep her indoors. That can't be healthy. And even Hanna said that her father was ill and he wasn't thinking clearly ever since her mother passed away. But this isn't just not thinking clearly. This was all calculated. He manipulated Hanna into sticking in one house so he could go visit his non-dead mirror wife. And it doesn't really fall in line with the humans are awful theme that we've been getting this entire season, every single episode up until this point, but maybe Eric's behavior actually does fall under that category. So the doctor does this thing where she's trying to convince Graham and Eric that their loved ones aren't actually there, that it is just a manipulation from the solo tract. Well, Grace actually trips up and Graham is able to tell that that's not Grace because of something she said. But with Eric, it's a little more difficult. So the doctor makes an offer to the Soul Attract that she should be the one to stick around because she knows all the secrets and wonders of our universe and she will be able to share it with the Soul Attract, unlike Eric. The doctor essentially sacrifices herself knowing that she will be reuniting Eric with his daughter. And she does mainly because she's the doctor and the doctor saves people, but in later scenes you can kind of see that the doctor is actually fascinated with the Soul Attract. So there was a tiny part of the doctor that was just like, you know what, I'm curious enough to try this. But there was something that kind of struck me as odd when the doctor volunteered to stay in the mirror realm with the Soul Attract. It's that, why didn't the doctor have anyone waiting for her in this universe? Maybe the Soul Attract didn't entirely realize what the doctor was until she started comparing herself to Eric. But if that were the case, how did Grace show up right as Graham arrived with a whole mess of Grace's memories? Because out of everyone involved, the doctor having someone in this mirror realm makes the most sense when you think about it. The doctor is completely right when she says that she's loved more and she's lost more. The doctor has lost so many companions over the years. It would just make a ton of sense for the doctor to have someone there as a companion, as an attachment, as someone who the doctor has cared about and then lost. Imagine if there was a Rose or a River or a Donna on the other side in this mirror realm, how the doctor would react. A heartbreaking loss, torn off again once the doctor realizes that this can't possibly be real. And it would have been a complete shock to us, the viewers, since Chibnall has promised that no previous companions are going to be in this season. So to have a curveball like that would have been incredible. The only thing I can think of why the doctor didn't have someone in this realm is that the doctor would have immediately been able to just see through it. And yeah, we have to talk about the frog. Like I said, this episode has a lot going on. The frog, foreshadowed by Grace's necklace, which Graham wears, is a form that the Soul Attract finds delightful. In traditional Chinese culture, frogs are a symbol of healing and good fortune, which is a direct contrast to the grief that we get in this episode. And there are definitely some fairy tale connotations. The brothers Grimm, the frog prince, the doctor actually blows the frog a kiss as she's backing away. And we realize that this episode, this weird, twisted, fantastically surreal episode, is all about loss. What it means to let go of the loved ones who have passed on, of your fears and insecurities, of that next door neighbor universe that you crave so much. The mirror portal doesn't always show us what's actually real. It doesn't show us what's right in front of us. Graham and Eric, they saw what they wanted to see, but None of it was real. Whether it's out of love or grief, we cannot cling to something that we can no longer have. That is not sustainable. Much like how the Doctor being with the Solitract was not sustainable. So yeah, that's my take on the episode. It takes you away. In the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the episode, things that you loved, things that you hated, things that I didn't touch on but you think we should talk about. Let's talk about it. But as always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me soon.